While car manufacturers have been developing the construction of almost every part of the internal combustion engine, the alternator has been working using the same simple technology for dozens of years. This is basically a rotor with magnets and copper wires that produce electricity. But we also know that the engine may work at different RPMs, starting with 800, 900 when idling and up to 5000, 6000 RPM when driving in sport mode. The alternator is rotated by the serpentine belt that is connected to the engine, and so the faster the engine rotates, the more RPMs the alternator gets. And hence we can't rely on its power much unless we somehow control its power and voltage. For this, all alternators have so-called voltage regulators. Those can be integrated into the alternator or mounted on the alternator's body. There are several types of voltage regulators, but basically they just control what voltage is sent to the system. The remaining power is sent to the ground to avoid battery overcharging or burning something in the electrical system of your car. Now you know the purpose of the voltage regulator and basically understand how it functions, and it's now easy to understand the symptoms of a failing voltage regulator. The first symptoms are always connected with voltage anomalies. If the voltage in the system is too high or too low, the first thing to check is the voltage regulator. Funny enough, but a lot of mechanics, especially those who can sell you parts in their shops, will immediately say that the alternator requires replacement when they spot voltage regulator problems. And yes, when they replace the alternator, things get better because they also replace the voltage regulator as it's an integral part of the alternator system. But in most cases, you can spend a fraction of that money just by inspecting and replacing the voltage regulator. Subscribe to my channel and learn more about cars to avoid paying money to shady mechanics trying to sell you as many parts and labor hours as possible. And the second symptom is the charging system failure and battery warning light on the dash. It means that the alternator doesn't give any power to the system and power is now being drained from the battery. The alternator and your vehicle's electrical system are connected through the voltage regulator, and when it fails, it's not uncommon for the alternator to become completely disconnected from the system. I had this issue several times in my vehicles, and this problem may also be accompanied by various misleading warnings and lights on the dash, but using a multimeter you can easily see that the voltage doesn't go any higher on the battery terminals after you start the car. A lot of sources will tell you that the symptoms of voltage regulator problems are flickering lights, malfunctioning electrical equipment, stalling vehicle or sputtering engine, but it's not exactly true and common because voltage regulators usually die at one certain moment and then the power supply is quickly turned to the battery. And then while the battery has some juice, you will be driving and only observing the battery warning light and maybe some messages like charging system fault or something like that. After the battery loses its juice, you will witness your car glitching heavily and then it will just die and you won't be able to start it. If the batteries in your car keep dying very fast, this is a clear symptom of the voltage regulator problem. If a high voltage current is being sent to the battery terminals, the battery will be fried pretty fast and will completely die. If low voltage or no voltage is sent, the battery will be quickly discharged and will die after several days of driving. While replacing the voltage regulator is in most cases not a DIY repair, inspecting this problem is possible with nothing more but a multimeter.